Cinderace was easily one of the best Pokemon from last generation. In OU, it was banned. I personally think it should have been retested. But anyway, this was easily one of the strongest Pokemon introduced last generation. And it was announced yesterday, similar to how they put Charizard in the game, that Cinderace in the last week of December, last weekend of December the 30th through the 1st, and then that following weekend, there's going to be 7-star Terra raids with Cinderace in it, meaning that Cinderace is getting ready to come back to OU for its second generation. Now, the fact that I already said Cinderace was the most powerful, anyone that played Gen 8 when Cinderace was around, y'all already know this thing was powerful, right? Mainly because of this little trick right here, Libero. Libero Cinderace was the guy. It was the guy. Like, Cinderace with Libero was just really powerful. Now, they did nerf Libero and Protein in this game, right? If you didn't know what Libero does, last generation, what it did was basically anytime you choose a move, your Pokemon would change to the type of that move, right? But in this generation, what they're doing is that it only works on the first turn. So let's say I come in, right? I go for my Pyro. If I go for my, let's say, high jump kick, right? I turn into a fighting type, but then let's say I go for a gunk shot next. I don't turn into a poison type. I'm stuck as a fighting type. Now, that is a nerf to Cinderace sets that are not choiced, alright? A lot of people will run Bandit or Scarf Cinderace just because it gets access to U-turn. So you can always just Bandit or Scarf U-turn, right? So now Bandit and Scarf are going to be Cinderace essentially best sets because those sets are not changed whatsoever. But you got to keep in mind that even though those sets are going to be its best set, Libero really takes advantage of being able to change types consistently, right? So being able, and given that terrestrialization is a thing, Pokemon changing types, now it's kind of like we're prepared for it. So personally, I don't think Cinderace is going to be that broken this generation, especially given Dondozo is in the game. Dondozo, but I just say Dondozo. Dondozo, same thing. But if we take a peek at Dondozo, I mean, there's not a whole lot Cinderace can do to this. I mean, Cinderace, like, what are you going to do? Run a special Cinderace with, like, I don't know, maybe we'll see Electro Ball Cinderace, maybe? Because, if it can choice specs Electro Ball, maybe? I don't know. But realistically, Cinderace is not touching Dondozo. Also, I think Cinderace is going to have a hard time with Clodsire. I think there's a lot of counterplay to Cinderace this generation. Even though, like, a lot of Pokemon lost access to Scald, I think Cinderace has a whole lot of checks. There's a lot of physical defensive mind. Like, Great Tusk, Cinderace is not going to have a good time with Great Tusk. Iron Valiant is not, and then you got Iron Valiant, which could boost its speed. Cinderace speed tier, it's at 119, right? It's at 119, which is good, but with a lot of Scarf Pokemon, and I gotta say, like, a lot of the Protomons, like Iron Valiant, when it boosts its speed, if you're not Scarf Cinderace, you're not outspeeding. Even something like Quackleval, it gets one speed boost up, right? You're not gonna appreciate that. And when it comes to Scizor is a menace this generation, right? If you change your type, right, and you're not resisting Scizor, bruh, that Bullet Punch is gonna hurt, because you gotta keep in mind, Cinderace is not bulky whatsoever. So, but anyway, that's enough trashing on Cinderace. That's my pitch, I think Cinderace got a little bit nerfed this generation, in addition to just normal power creep. But Cinderace also got buffs, okay? Even though I'm sitting here, I just went there and I talked about why Cinderace got nerfed. Cinderace is still going to come back and be a menace, right? Because the Bandit set is still powerful, alright? Fire type is an amazing offensive typing. We see that with something like Chi-Yu, right? Chi-Yu, right? This thing is like, it's threatening everything with Terra Fire, right? And so this could be the physical Chi-Yu essentially, right? You Terra Fire Pyro Ball, nothing's gonna appreciate that. Absolutely nothing is going to appreciate that, right? Just Pyro Ball, just being able to just, yeah. No, nothing's gonna appreciate that, especially coming off of a Bandit Cinderace. You go Bandit Terra, I think Bandit Terra Fire Pyro Ball is going to be ridiculous. Now, my only question would be is that if if let's say I go for high jump kick and then I Terra, would that give me the 2.25 boost? Like, would I get additional boost, or would I don't know. I have no idea. If Libero would like cause, because you know, if you're Terra the same type, you get an additional boost. So that makes me wonder if it like, if I Terra fighting, does that give me, I don't know, we'll figure it out once the game comes out. But regardless, it has really powerful moves, so just being able to Terra into that type and then going for the band, like, I just think that that's gonna be, it makes this thing ridiculously powerful. But I think this is the most powerful set, the bandit set, but I think the most useful set is going to be the scarf set, just because you run scarf, you could run Jolly, but I think running Adamant is going to be better because you do want a little bit more power. Scarf high jump kick is going to be doing damage. There's a whole bunch of dark types in the tier. I'm just saying Chi Yu as an example. Even though you got Baxcalibur, you got Chi and Pal, this is going to hit. I don't think Corviknight's going to appreciate it. Iron Treads is not going to appreciate. King Gambit's not going to appreciate that. A lot of Pokemon aren't going to appreciate a choice scarf or just high jump kick in general. But Ting Lu's not going to appreciate it. I do think Pyro Ball, locking yourself into Pyro Ball is going to be safer because it hits more things neutral to super effective. But regardless, high jump kick, being able to get that off priority is going to be strong. But these are the two sets that we're going to see everywhere. But before we get into the most powerful set, remember, Cinderace has Court Change with Heavy Duty Boots is another way to get rid of hazards. Basically what it does is, I believe it switches screens as well. So let's say your opponent switches, I'm not sure about screens, but I know it does rocks. So let's say something switches, sets up rocks, you come in, you Court Change, boom. Now those rocks are on the opposite side of the field, which is an interesting move. We really only saw Cinderace run this at the beginning of the generation, because once a lot of things got defogged, we really didn't see this used as much. But with Heavy Duty Boots, I just think with Heavy Duty Boots, we're gonna see Court Change potentially used, especially because a lot of things lost defog. So being able to Court Change, that's gonna be useful. I don't think it's gonna be as popular as the other sets because we're in a hyper offense metagame. So getting Cinderace as a hyper offense mon, not using it for hyper offense, I don't know how. I just be aware that people might run this. People might run this to catch you off guard. So this is something people run. But the most broken set, I think, is right here. They gave this thing Trailblaze. Now, y'all have seen my videos about Trailblaze. Trailblaze is grass type Flame Charge. Now, the thing about Cinderace is it already got Flame Charge, but giving it grass type Flame Charge allows it to hit things that it would not normally hit. So this allows it to hit things super effectively. Well, you could say Dondozo, but it's only 50 base power, so, and Dondozo has Unaware, so, Dondozo has, yeah, it has Unaware essentially, so it could just, yeah, it has Unaware, so boosting past, it's gonna be hard, but when you look at other things that don't, that you can hit, like, Garganacl, if it goes Terra Water, you can hit that. Yeah, but regardless, just being able to boost your speed and have coverage, I think is going to be great because you Swords Dance and then you just go crazy. But the only thing that hurts this thing back is Libero now, because you're going to want to make sure that you get your Libero type at the beginning, right? So, I'd say with Libero, you're going to want to go Fire. But wait, would Libero... Does Libero prevent having Fire Stab now? Because my thing is that if you're already a Fire type, I don't think Libero activates, right? So that means if you go for the sword... Hold up, I think Blaze might be better than Libero on this set. Because you're going to want Stab on the Pyro Ball, and if you go for Swords Dance, you're going to have Terra. You're going to be normal type. So I think that, you might want to... We just got to see how Libero works. Because if you... Let's say you Swords Dance, right? That's going to turn you normal type, and then you don't have Stab on Pyro Ball. It's still powerful, but... And then if you go for Pyro Ball first, I don't know. So that's a nerf. That's a nerf right there on the Swords Dance set. But regardless, let's say you run Blaze, right? You Swords Dance, Trailblaze. You hit something with Trailblaze, and your speed and fast, you essentially got a Scarf and times 2 attack, you're done. Like, literally, high jump kick and Pyro Ball hits everything. Nothing wants to switch into this thing. But regardless, Cinderace is gearing to come back and be a menace. I think it's a little bit of power that's going to be very useful. I think it's kind of balanced in this game because there's a whole lot of checks to it. Clodsire checks it. Annihilate, honestly, with a couple bulk ups, get some screens up. Annihilate wouldn't mind Cinderace. Honestly, it would like Cinderace because Cinderace would hit it and then it could hit it back super effectively. But anyway, if y'all, let me know what y'all think about Cinderace in the comments. Are y'all hyped for Cinderace coming back? Let me know what Pokemon you want to come back in this Terra Raid style. Personally, I predict either Rillaboom or Inteleon could come back next, unless they want to do something like Hisui, because what they could do is in January, the Hisuian started. It's going to be 1 year since Legends Arceus came out in January, so I think that what they could do is the next Terra battles could be the Legends Arceus starters. So I'm thinking Hisuian, Typhlosion, Decidueye, and Samurai. I think those all could be coming in January. It would just make sense because Legend Arceus, that's going to be 1 year, so they'd be like, shout out to Legends Arceus, here's those Pokemon. I'm thinking they could even do where it's just like promoted where you get all the Hisui mons. But I think it's probably going to be focused on the starters. If they do one first, they're probably going to do Typhlosion first just because we're seeing a lot of Fire Star love. So maybe they want to do Fire Starters first. And then I don't know. But I think the Hisuian mons are going to be next. And I'm excited to see those. But Cinderace is going to come back. And it's going to be a menace. It's going to be a menace. Even though there's going to be things to check it, this thing is still going to be a menace. Like Banded Pyro Ball. Nothing's going to want to deal with that. Banded Terra Fire Pyro Ball. No one's gonna like that, especially if you're running Pyro Ball. I mean, you can run Blaze. Let's say somehow you get less than a third of your HP and you get a Blaze boost. That'd be crazy. But anyway, I will see y'all in the next video. Baxcalibur is the Pokemon that won last week's poll. That video is either gonna go up today or tomorrow. But anyway, make sure y'all subscribe if y'all haven't already. A lot of y'all been subscribing to the channel. A lot of y'all have not been subscribing to the channel. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe. Trying to hit 500 by the end of the year. We're so close. But thank y'all for the love and support. Make sure turn the noti bells on. You see these videos as soon as they're out. And yeah, Cinderace is back. It's back with a vengeance.